Last season in Tuscaloosa, the Tide flattened the Green Wave 62-0. It was a happy homecoming for Bama fans. Gene Stallings has yet to crack a smile. The pressure mounts as the Tide tries to build on the nation's third longest winning streak. But Crimson confidence is high, thanks to the country's best defense. Tulane is prepared to face it again, hoping for better results than the whitewash in T-Town 1 year ago. They hope it won't be easy in the Big Easy. It's Tulane and number 6 Alabama next on VideoSeat. Second down and 10. And there's the workhorse. Derek Lassick finds a huge hole, breaks in the open, and gets wrestled down around the 46-yard line. Lassick, big gainer. Great blocking by the Tide offensive line. There's Brian Deal's numbers. 4th down and 4. Kickers normally like to kick in this building. And Tommy Johnson tried to field it down there inside the orange marker, but couldn't do it. It's a touchback. Second down and 10. Meadows calling a long. That's a broken play. And, that's usually what happens when you have a broken play against Alabama. It goes for a loss. Third down and 16. Ball's on the 14-yard line from the shotgun. No, it's a quick kick. Haven't seen that in a long time. And he gets the bounce, and it goes out about the 47-yard line. So, Buddy Tevens pulls one out of his bag of tricks. The quick kick. Curtis Brown is wide left. Prince Wimbley on the right. Houston and Lassick. Wimbley in motion. Pitch back to Lassick. Finds an opening. Could go all the way. Derek Lassick has one man to beat. He cuts back, and he finally gets wrestled down around the 10-yard line. I think if Lassick had forged ahead, he might have scored. Nevertheless, big gain for number 25. Closing in on the 9-minute mark of the first quarter, and the Tide closing in on a score. Uh-oh, there's a broken play. Barker has nowhere to go, and he gets wrestled down by Reggie Davis, the nose guard for Tulane. Big fella. There's Reggie, built like a nose guard without question. Barker back to pass, 2nd and 16, and he gets thrown to the turf. Serious sack by Marco Milano. His nickname is Bird, and I guess he hawked Jay Barker on that one. Jeff Wall, the holder. That's the position he's held for the last 3 years. Did it for Philip Doyle and did a marvelous job. Rarely ever muss a hole. Proctor nails it, splitting the uprights, and Alabama on the board, 3-0.
And again, Doug, this is an area of concern that Alabama, the coaches have really been working on, and they've started doing this full speed in practice, which is almost unheard of during the regular season.
There's Proctor's kick, fielded at the 2 by Strickland again. He got the first one and grabs the second one and finds a hole up the middle, and again brings it out to around the 36-yard line. And again, that coverage for Alabama a bit on the soft side. Again, Chance Miller, Joey Perry in the backfield. Alabama coming in with a blitz, and Lemansky Hall trails Terrence Strickland, who breaks up close to the first down marker. 4th and inches, the ball on the 45. And they're going for it. Chance Miller gets hit right at the line. Did he get it? I tell you, if he got it, it will be a favorable mark from the official. It didn't look from my vantage point that he gained an inch.
It's going to be close.
Antonio London in the way along with Antonio Langham, but there's the official marking first down. Calling signals, play fake, and overthrows his man, Terrence Strickland. Flag on the play. There's Rom Gilbert. London is very quick, and he was already in the hole. 3rd down and 6. Meadows lobs one up, and it's intercepted. The pick, Antonio Langham bringing it back down the sideline. He's up around the 40 and knocked out of bounds. Antonio Langham, another interception for the Crimson Tide. That's 4 on the season for number 43.
They'd like to keep it going with low-scoring football games. They'd like to break a national record, frankly. Doug?
Thank you, Scott. Brian Deal on the punt. That's Terrence Strickland again. He has been a busy man, and he's brought down quickly by number 22. That's Willie Gaston. 2nd down and 6. And again, the same play. Pitch back to Lassick. He gets up close to the first down. Gains 4 more. 3rd down a short one. Martin Houston falls forward. I think he got it. We'll check on Thornhill. 2nd down and 6. Sherman Williams gets his first carry. Marco Milano again on the stop. And there's the handoff to Sherman Williams, who keeps the drive alive. 1st down, Alabama.
So if you're Tulane, you're the defensive unit, you got to feel pretty good looking back on what you've done the first 17 minutes of this game.
Barker back to pass, setting up the screen. Sherman Williams, a nice grab. Plenty of room to run. And he finally gets brought down around the 27-yard line. Nice grab. Even better running by Sherman Williams. 3rd down and 8. And the blitz. Barker finds Dabo Sweeney. Very close to the 1st down. Well, Tulane blitzed 2 linebackers and a defensive back on that play. Proctor attempting the field goal and misses it wide left. He pulled it to the left. Chip Clark will punt again for Tulane. They're 1 out of 6 3rd down conversions. David Palmer fields it at about the 15. He stops, hesitates, and tries to wiggle free, but Tulane says no way.
Tulane has made a lot of changes on their punt coverage team, and Chip Clark does a great job of booming them out, and they're covering them tonight.
54 yards on that last punt. Martin Houston has a big hole. Showing a little bit of speed, breaks the tackle. And gets brought down from behind, but not without a struggle. Cedric Thomas finally brings Martin Houston down around the 45. 45 yards on the run, and Houston on the sidelines. Les Fowler looking at him. Barker completed to Buskey, the big tight end. Goes forward for a gain of 9. He's put on a lot of weight since he came to Tuscaloosa 3 years ago. Terrence Lynch right up the middle. Again, that's an effective play. Why not? Alabama seemingly is beginning to wear down this Tulane defense. Brad Hignite on the stop. The ball's on the 20, or actually the field goal attempt will be from the 29, so it's a 39-yard attempt for Michael Proctor, who's 1 out of 2. Make it 2 out of 3. Michael Proctor converts from 39 yards, and Alabama on top 6-0. Straight handoff. Joey Perry brought down after gaining 5 or 6. There you see the time. Closing in on 45 seconds and counting. And again, another handoff to Joey Perry, who finds a little bit of room. 1st down, Tulane. Mitch Tinsley, the center, has done a nice job blocking on that run right up the middle, which Tulane seems to be doing quite a bit. Meadows with a pump fake. Looking for Urson. He jumps up and it's intercepted, I believe, or did he catch it? No, it's a reception for Urson. Will Urson, the crowd on their feet. He could be the target here when Meadows fades back. The rollout, Curry. Oh, it's a fake. Oh my gosh. Abramowitz scores a touchdown. Everybody was looking at the quarterback, and Abramowitz, the guard, picks up the ball on the ground and goes in for the score.
The official is back on the 22-yard lines. They may be bringing it back. I'm not sure what they did.
Nope. It's a touchdown, I do believe, Rick.
There's a group of officials standing back on the 22-yard line, but that's right out of the Bobby Bowden playbook.
Boy, is he a little bit excited or what? Nope, they did not allow it, I guess. So they'll kick the field goal. Jerry Butler, a confusing moment here. Whistle's now blowing. Butler connects
the clock had already run out, Doug, before they even got it off. They didn't have any timeouts left, and I believe the clock had run down to double zeros before they got the kickoff. We'll wait and see what the officials say. A lot of confusion among the officials here. You can hear the fans. They aren't real pleased about it either.
Time expires.
If you're Buddy Tevens, there you see Buddy Tevens. You got to be upset if you're Buddy Tevens. Everybody thinks that you've just put 7 points on the board. He's got to feel frustrated, but he feels good. You're supposed to reach down and pick the ball up, but he touched the ground with his knee when he got on the ball, and down the ball right there. So the officials made the right call, but I know that his knee touches the ground. Watch his left knee here as he goes to cover the ball. There it is, right here, his left knee. He's down on the play. Big break for Alabama. Big break.
I tell you, the referee now has no microphone. So the 50,000 here in the Dome, a bit confused. That was a very bizarre finish to the first half. Barker 4 out of 12 for 49 yards. He was sacked twice for a negative 13. Derek Lassick breaks free. One man to beat. Oh, he almost broke it. Ball on 37. Pitch back to Lassick. Martin Houston, a great block as Lassick goes forward for another first down. Second down and 7. Martin Houston, another gaping hole over the right side. John Stevenson and others. Mike Stade again with a tackle. Clamping down on the Tulane defense. It's 3rd and 1. Martin Houston gets the first down. I do believe we'll wait for the signal. Good close-up shot of Jay Barker calling signals. The pitch back to Derek Lassick, and he cuts back on the turf. It's brought down around the 11-yard line.
They've been moving the ball, but then they'll have a sack or a turnover or a penalty to stop themselves. So I guess the coaches said, we're just going to keep it on the ground and keep it simple. Big third down play, and it appeared that Martin Houston jumped. A couple of flags down.
28-yard attempt by Michael Proctor. Jeff Wall does a good job of getting the snap down in place, and it's connected rather well by Proctor. 3 out of 4 on the day. It's 9-0. It's a field goal battle here in the Superdome. Meadows straight back. He has time. Looking deep for Urson, who was open momentarily. Did he pull it away again? No, interception. Alabama. Willie Gaston on the pick. Number 22. Alabama escapes trouble again. Jay Barker complete to Terrence Lynch for a first down. Flag on the play. We'll check the call. Nope. Clip on Alabama. Second down and 32. The Tide in a hole. This is a danger area. A fumble or an interception, and Tulane is in business. Barker back to pass. Again, same play, looking deep. That time they get the flag. Curtis Brown was the receiver. Same play, different result. The Tide with a big penalty. A lot of these folks probably thought by this time this game would be well out of hand, but Tulane is doing an excellent job. Double reverse to David Palmer. The deuce. Tries to break free, a juke move, and is it Mike Stade again? Mike Stade and Brandon Hamilton again on the saving play. It's hard to tackle David Palmer. He makes a lot of folks miss. Almost a forgotten man tonight, David Palmer. Sherman Williams around the left side, big hole, breaks a tackle, and again, there's number 15, Mike Stade. How many times has he saved a touchdown? But there's a fumble on the play, and it looks like Tulane. You're right. Has come up with it. I tell you.
But this crowd has gone completely nuts over this defense. I want to tell you, the folks back in Birmingham and back in Tuscaloosa, if they've done as much noise as this crowd down here in the Superdome, you couldn't stand it in those places.
Fields the punt at the 38, and again, nice kick coverage. Count the green jerseys. There must be 8 of them around. Second down and 10. The Tide, 27-point favorites over Tulane. They lead 9-0. 4 minutes to play, third quarter. Barker pulls it back and runs with it. Looking for that first down mark, and he slams into the defender. Third down, a short one. First down, Alabama. They're now 5 out of 12 in third down conversions. Barker keeps it himself. The Tide in control of this game seemingly because the defense impregnable. The offense, well, we'll see if they can produce. David Palmer on the fake. Lassick keeps it. High stepping it. Takes a lick himself, but keeps on ticking.
Has eaten up a lot of clock.
Second down and 8. David Palmer in motion. And here he comes back the other way. Good block. Palmer again falls forward 5 or 6 yards. Great block by George Wilson.
10.
You know that song, Wipeout? Well, I think that young man is hearing it in his head right now. Derek Lassick, hurt leg and all, goes forward for a first down and a few more. Good shot there, Jay Barker. Derek Lassick breaks the tackle and will go in for 6. The Tide's first touchdown of the night. Derek Lassick, the man of the hour. New Orleans, one of his favorite cities. He and his father loved to come here. Meadows, completed pass over the middle. That's Jerry Urson. 40 seconds and counting to play in the third quarter. First down, Tulane and more. Jerry Urson. Again, Meadows getting a lot of time to go back, and he's finding a receiver doing a fine job. Several times Alabama's been playing a lot of youngsters late in the fourth quarter. The reverse by Urson. Will he pass the ball? You better believe it. Intercepted by Chris Donnelly at the 27. He returns it up around the 40. Turns the corner and steps out of bounds. Chris Donnelly did a good job staying in position. Terrence Strickland is deep. 10 men on the line for Tulane. Nice punt by Brian Deal. Goes into the end zone, a long punt. Second down and 10. There's the numbers on Sean Meadows, the junior college transfer. Moves around kind of like Bernie Kosar, kind of throws like it. Same motion, but not the same result. Intercepted, George Teague, another pick for the Tide secondary. 12-23, third down and 6. 173 yards on the ground for Lassick. Screen pass to Chris Anderson. And he scampers forward for a first down and more. The offense has been 3 downs and out for Tulane. And here comes the fake reverse. Derek Lassick high-stepping it again. Finding a hole. Still not brought down. Is anybody going to bring him down? It looks like he grabbed his face mask. So tack on 5 more for the inadvertent face mask. 11 and a half minutes as Chris Anderson goes around the right side.
Cardinal sin is to lose the ball as you go down there, as I'm sure Sherman Williams has heard tonight.
Chris Anderson, the tailback, but it goes to Martin Houston right up the middle.
And Alabama in with 2 tight ends now, and Craig Harris on the wing.
Chris Anderson. Touchdown, Alabama, Chris Anderson.
Craig Harris made a great block from his wingback position. Opened the hole, allowed Anderson to get into the end zone.
Maurice Belser in for Alabama at right guard. Johnny Howard in at left tackle. Sherman Williams over the right side. Getting close to the first down, running behind Belser. Maurice Belser, 64. Maybe he's been doing the running ropes, huh? Terrence Lynch gets the first down. David Palmer with a motion. The Deuce does that a lot. He motions for the first down quite a bit, and he's always the first one to motion when there's a fumble. Patented fake in the rollout. Completed to Terrence Lynch. He did that last week against South Carolina. And Terrence Lynch is going to try to score 6. Will he get caught by Stade? Yes, he does. Mike Stade. Again, the touchdown-saving tackle. I must have called that 8 times tonight. Mike Stade. A lot of yardage on the ground for the Tide as they're going in for another score. Sherman Williams, high-stepping it, looking like Gale Sayers again. Oh, and look at that wiggle. Baby. What was that all about? He's deep. Clark with a punt. A high punt. Sends Palmer back to the out-of-bounds marker. Goes out around the 25.
Both Derek Thomas and Cornelius Bennett said that Mike Dubose made them into the kind of football players that they've turned into.
Bergdorf on the rollout. David Palmer with the reception. Atlanta leads Pittsburgh 4-3, bottom of the 5th in the NLCS. Game 4. John Smoltz against Doug Drabeck. Of course, I'm not sure whether either pitcher's still in the game. Chris Anderson finds room to run. It looks like he's going to break free for a touchdown. He has one man to beat, and he has a blocker out in front of him. Chris Anderson will go in for the touchdown. Just like last week against South Carolina, he breaks free against a weary defense late in the game. And that wraps up Alabama's 6th victory of the season. You see the smoke from the cannon. You see the players come onto the field. Gene Stallings talking to Buddy Tevens. And I think Gene Stallings impressed by the way this Tulane bunch really fought hard. The defensive unit on the field almost the entire second half. The final, Alabama 37, Tulane 0. Alabama came here and accomplished exactly what they set out to do. Win and head to Knoxville undefeated. They've done it as we go to Scott Hunter.